The laboratory hummed with a soft electric silence. Machines blinked their tiny lights in rhythm, casting a pale blue glow across the room. Dr. Hannah Kim sat perfectly still, her eyes fixed on the holographic display floating before her. Streams of data danced and twisted, forming complex patterns that would look like nonsense to most people, but not to her. Outside the lab's reinforced windows, the Galactic Research Station hung in the endless darkness of space. Earth was just a tiny blue dot in the distance, a reminder of how far humanity had come. The station was a marvel of engineering, a testament to human curiosity and determination. But right now, Hannah was focused on something far more mysterious. June Park, her research assistant, adjusted a quantum resonance scanner. His hands moved with practiced precision, but there was a slight tremble of excitement. They were close to something big, something that could change everything humans knew about themselves. "Dr. Kim," June said softly, "the latest data set is ready." Hannah nodded, her eyes never leaving the display. She had been working on this research for years, chasing a puzzle that had confused scientists across multiple alien civilizations. It was a simple question that nobody had been able to answer. Why could human children see things that no other species could? It wasn't a metaphorical ability. It was literal. Young human children, typically between the ages of 3 and 7, could somehow perceive things that were invisible to everyone else. They would point at walls and describe hidden structures. They would talk about colors and shapes that shouldn't exist. And the most bizarre part, they were always right. The Galactic Research Council had been skeptical at first. Alien scientists had dismissed the reports as human imagination or child fantasy. But Hannah knew better. She had seen it with her own daughter, Yumi, years ago. Yumi used to giggle and point at blank walls, talking about dancing lights and hidden lines that nobody else could see. Back then, Hannah had thought it was just a child's imagination. Now she knew it was something more. The computer beeped. Another set of data came through, matching perfectly with previous observations. June let out a quiet gasp. "This confirms everything," he whispered. Their research had uncovered something extraordinary. Human children possessed a unique genetic variation that activated during early childhood. This variation created additional neural pathways that allowed them to perceive electromagnetic and structural information beyond the capabilities of any known species in the galaxy. But here was the truly fascinating part. This ability disappeared as children grew older. Around the age of 8, these special neural pathways would begin to close. The magic would fade, leaving behind only memories that most adults would dismiss as childhood imagination. Hannah remembered her own childhood. She had been one of those children who could see through things. She remembered the colorful lines that danced around objects, the way buildings seemed to have hidden layers that only she could see. Her parents had thought it was just a creative imagination. Now she knew it was scientific evidence. The implications were mind-blowing. If human children could naturally perceive structures and energy fields that were invisible to others, what did that mean for human evolution? What survival advantage had this ability provided thousands of years ago? "We need to prepare the presentation for the Galactic Council," Hannah said, breaking the silence. Her voice was calm, but her heart was racing. June nodded. He knew what this meant. Their research could potentially rewrite everything known about human biology, perception, and evolutionary history. Outside the window, stars continued their silent dance. Somewhere, on a small blue planet, children were still seeing things that adults could not understand. The mystery was about to be unveiled, and Dr. Hannah Kim was going to be the one to explain it to the universe. The research facility was quiet. Most people had gone home. But Dr. Hannah Kim sat alone in her office, surrounded by years of research and unanswered questions. Outside the window, stars filled the night sky. Each star was a reminder of how little humans really understood about the universe. Jun Park entered the room, carrying 2 cups of hot coffee. He knew Hannah would still be working. She always was. "We've discovered so much," Hannah said, looking at the walls covered in research papers and genetic diagrams. But the most important question remains unanswered. That question was simple but impossible. Why humans? What made the human species so unique that their children could see things no other species could? Thousands of research hours, hundreds of case studies, countless genetic tests, and still the fundamental mystery remained. The genetic variation was real. The ability was documented, but the reason behind it was still hidden. June looked at the research boards. Colorful diagrams showed the complex neural pathways. Mathematical equations tried to explain the genetic mutation, but something was missing. Maybe we're not asking the right questions, he said. Hannah nodded. Their research had shown that human children between 3 and 7 years old could perceive hidden structures. They could see energy fields. They could understand complex environmental relationships that no adult or alien species could comprehend. But why? The evolutionary theory made sense. Early human ancestors living in dangerous environments might have needed this ability to survive. Children who could detect hidden predators or structural weaknesses would have a better chance of staying alive. But it felt like there was something more, something deeper. June brought up the latest research on the genetic variation. The neural pathways were complex. The ability was precise. It wasn't just a random mutation. It felt like a carefully designed system. It's almost like... Hannah started, then stopped. Like what? June asked. Like the ability was intentional, she said. Like something, or someone, designed it specifically for human children. The idea was crazy. But in the world of scientific research, crazy ideas sometimes led to the biggest discoveries. They had ruled out alien intervention. They had explored every possible evolutionary explanation. But something still didn't make sense. Why did the ability disappear at age 8? Why was it so precise? Why was it so perfectly designed to help children survive? More questions than answers. The Galactic Research Council was waiting for their final report. Alien species were curious. Space exploration agencies wanted more information. But the core mystery remained unsolved. Hannah thought about her own daughter, Yumi. When Yumi was 4, she used to talk about seeing things adults couldn't see. Dancing lights, hidden paths, secret colors. Back then, it had seemed like childhood imagination. Now, it was a scientific mystery that could change how the universe understood perception. June looked at the research one more time. We might never know, he said quietly. Hannah smiled. That's the beauty of science, she replied. The mystery is sometimes more important than the answer. Outside, the stars continued their silent dance. Millions of human children played, unaware of the extraordinary ability hidden within their genetic code. The research would continue. The questions would remain. And somewhere in the universe, the secret of human children's perception was still waiting to be discovered. The conference room was huge and silent. Alien representatives from different parts of the galaxy sat around a massive circular table. Their bodies looked strange. Some were tall and thin, others were short and round. Some had multiple arms, while others seemed to float above their chairs. But they all had one thing in common, a look of confusion and curiosity. Dr. Hannah Kim stood at the center of the room. Behind her, a massive holographic display showed hundreds of case studies. Each study told the same incredible story about human children and their impossible ability to see through walls. Let me tell you about Emily Rodriguez, Hannah began. Her voice was steady and clear. She was 6 years old when she first caught the attention of our research team. The holographic display changed. A picture of a smiling little girl appeared. She looked ordinary, brown hair, big eyes, a bright red shirt. But there was nothing ordinary about her story. Emily lived in a research facility with her parents. One day, she pointed at a concrete wall and told her father exactly what was behind it. She described a storage room with 3 metal shelves, a broken chair, and a blue toolbox on the bottom shelf. Nobody believed her at first, but when they opened the wall, Everything was exactly as she had described. June Park clicked to the next case study. "This is Michael Chen," he said. He was 4 years old when he predicted a structural weakness in a space station's main support beam. The holographic image showed a young boy standing next to a complex diagram of a space station. Michael had told station engineers that one of the main support beams had a hidden crack. At first, nobody listened, but when they ran advanced scans, they found exactly what the 4-year-old had described. These weren't just lucky guesses. The research team had collected hundreds of similar stories. Children between 3 and 7 years old consistently saw things that should have been impossible to see. They could describe hidden rooms, detect structural problems, and even see electromagnetic fields. One of the alien representatives raised a tentacle-like appendage. "How is this possible?" he asked. His voice sounded like wind moving through pipes. Hannah took a deep breath. "That's what we've been trying to understand," she explained. "We believe it's connected to a unique genetic variation that activates during early childhood." The holographic display changed again. Now it showed complex genetic diagrams. Lines of DNA twisted and turned, highlighting the special mutation that seemed to give human children their extraordinary ability. "Most interestingly," June added, "this ability disappears as children grow older. Around age 8, these special neural pathways begin to close. It's like a window of perception that slowly shuts." The room was quiet. Every alien in the room was watching, listening, trying to understand. Hannah remembered her own daughter, Yumi. When Yumi was 4, she used to talk about the dancing lights around objects. She would point at walls and giggle about the secrets they were hiding. Back then, Hannah had thought it was just childhood imagination. Now, it was scientific evidence. "We've documented cases from all over Earth," Hannah continued. "Different cultures, different environments. But the pattern remains the same. Young human children can perceive things that are invisible to mature beings." Another alien representative spoke. This one looked like a walking crystal, with sharp edges and a transparent body. "What evolutionary purpose could this serve?" she asked. It was a good question, and it was the question that had driven Hannah's research for years. The presentation continued. More case studies appeared, more impossible stories of children seeing the unseen. The alien representatives listened, their various body parts leaning forward in disbelief and wonder. Something extraordinary was happening. Humans had a secret that was hidden in plain sight, visible only through the eyes of their youngest members. And Dr. Hannah Kim was about to reveal that secret to the entire galaxy. The testing room looked like something from a science fiction movie. White walls, smooth surfaces, strange machines that blinked and hummed with soft electronic sounds. 5 children sat in special chairs. Their ages ranged from 4 to 7. They looked like normal kids. Some were excited, some looked bored, some were playing with small toys. But they were anything but normal. Dr. Hannah Kim watched from behind a special glass wall. Next to her, June Park prepared the testing equipment. Today was the day they would prove their theory about human children's unique ability. "First test," June said into a microphone. His voice was calm and clear. The first child was a girl named Emma. She had bright red hair and freckles. She wore a small blue shirt with cartoon characters on it. Nobody would guess she was about to do something extraordinary. A complex holographic structure appeared in the room. To adult eyes, it looked like a collection of simple geometric shapes. But the researchers knew it was much more. "Emma," the computer voice said, "can you tell us what you see?" Emma looked at the holographic structure. She tilted her head. Then she started talking. "There's a hidden path," she said. "It goes behind the red triangle. And there's something blue underneath that isn't showing from the front." The researchers held their breath. On their screens, advanced scanners confirmed every word Emma said. The hidden path. The blue object. Everything was exactly as she described. Test after test followed. Each child saw things that should have been impossible to see. A boy named Michael described the internal structure of a wall. He talked about tiny cracks and energy flows that no scanning equipment could normally detect. But when they opened the wall, everything was exactly as he said. Another child, Sophia, could see electromagnetic fields. She described colorful lines of energy that moved and twisted in ways no adult could perceive. Scientific instruments confirmed her descriptions perfectly. "This is more than just luck," June whispered to Hannah. "This is a real, measurable ability." The tests continued for weeks. Different environments, different challenges, always the same result. Children between 3 and 7 could perceive hidden information that no other beings could see. They tested structural perception. The children could describe hidden rooms, detect weaknesses in buildings, and see energy patterns that were invisible to adults. They tested environmental perception. The children could sense unusual energy flows, detect hidden water sources, and understand complex structural relationships that should have been impossible. Each test was carefully documented. Each result was verified by multiple scientific instruments. This wasn't imagination. This was a real, measurable ability. But there was a time limit. As children approached their 8th birthday, the ability began to fade. The neural pathways that allowed this special perception started to close. By age 8, most children would lose this extraordinary ability completely. "It's like a window," Hannah explained during a team meeting. "A special window of perception that opens for a short time and then closes forever." The Galactic Research Council was watching. Alien scientists from different parts of the galaxy waited for the results. This was more than just a human discovery. This was a new understanding of perception itself. One final test remained. They brought in children from different backgrounds, different cultures, different parts of the world. Always the same result. The ability was real. "We're not just studying the genetic mutation," Hannah told her team. "We're uncovering the hidden layer of human perception." Outside the research facility, millions of children continued to see the world in a way no one else could. A secret world of hidden paths, invisible energy, and extraordinary perception. And no one knew how long this ability would remain a mystery. The military research facility looked like a giant metal box from the outside. But inside, something incredible was happening. Colonel Sarah Martinez walked through a long hallway. Her boots made sharp sounds on the clean floor. Behind her, June Park carried a thick folder of research documents. They were about to change everything humans knew about perception and technology. "Imagine the possibilities," Colonel Martinez said. Her voice was serious but excited. The military was very interested in the research about children's special ability. If humans could develop technology that copied even a small part of this perception, it would change everything about exploration and defense. June had been working on special scanning devices. These weren't normal cameras or sensors. These were tools inspired directly by how human children could see hidden information. In the first testing room, a prototype scanner sat on a table. It looked like a small box with multiple lens-like openings. But this was no ordinary scanner. This device was designed to mimic the neural pathways of young human children. "Watch this," Jun said. He pressed a button. The scanner came to life. Colorful holographic images appeared, showing hidden structures that normal equipment could not detect. Walls became transparent. Energy fields became visible. Secret spaces revealed themselves. Colonel Martinez watched carefully. Her eyes were wide with understanding. "This could change planetary exploration," she said. "We could detect hidden cave systems. We could find water sources. We could understand structural weaknesses before they become dangerous." The military wasn't the only interested group. Space exploration agencies were excited too. If they could develop technology based on children's perception, they could explore planets in ways never possible before. Jun showed more prototypes. Some were small handheld devices. Others were large scanning machines. Each one tried to copy a small part of the extraordinary ability that human children possessed. The most interesting prototypes could detect energy fields. They could see structural relationships. They could understand hidden connections that no other technology could perceive. It's not a perfect copy, June explained, but it's a start. More researchers joined the project. Scientists from different fields worked together. They came from backgrounds like neurology, quantum physics, genetic engineering, and computer technology. Each prototype was tested carefully. Some worked better than others. Some failed completely. But with each test, they learned more about the incredible ability of human children. One device could detect tiny structural weaknesses in buildings. Another could map underground water sources. A third could see energy flows that were invisible to normal equipment. The space exploration team was especially excited. They saw these devices as a way to explore new planets safely. Imagine being able to detect hidden cave systems. Imagine understanding the structural relationships of an unknown environment before even landing. This is more than technology, Colonel Martinez said during a team meeting. This is a new way of perceiving the world. Military applications were obvious, but the team was careful. They didn't want to create weapons. They wanted to create tools that could help humans understand their environment better. June continued improving the prototypes. Each version was better than the last. Slowly, they were learning to copy the extraordinary perception of human children. Outside the research facility, the world continued as normal. Millions of children played, unaware that their special ability was inspiring new technologies that could change how humans explored the universe. Dr. Hannah Kim's research had opened a door to a new understanding of human perception. And no one knew where this technology might lead. The genetics laboratory was a world of its own. Bright lights reflected off clean white surfaces. Machines hummed and blinked. Rows of complex equipment stood ready to unlock the secrets hidden in human DNA. June Park leaned over a microscope, his breath almost stopping. Something incredible was happening on the tiny screen. Strands of human DNA twisted and turned, revealing a mystery that had puzzled scientists for years. "I found it," he whispered. Dr. Hannah Kim rushed to his side. Her eyes widened as she looked through the microscope. There, in the genetic code, was something extraordinary, a unique chromosomal variation that seemed to exist only in humans. This wasn't just a small change. It was a massive genetic difference that activated during early childhood. The variation created additional neural pathways that allowed children to perceive things no other species could see. "Look at these chromosome markers," Jum said, pointing to the screen. His finger traced a complex pattern of genetic information. "They're unlike anything we've ever seen before." The variation was special. It appeared to be a temporary genetic switch that turned on during the first few years of human life. When children were between 3 and 7 years old, these special genetic markers would become active. They would create new connections in the brain, allowing children to see beyond normal human perception. But there was more. As children grew older, these genetic markers would slowly become inactive. Around age 8, the special neural pathways would begin to close. The extraordinary ability would fade away, leaving behind only memories that most adults would dismiss as childhood imagination. Hannah remembered her own childhood. She had been one of those children who could see through things. The colorful lines, the hidden layers of objects, they had all seemed so normal to her back then. Now she was discovering the scientific reason behind those memories. The research team worked day and night. They ran test after test. Each result was more surprising than the last. This wasn't just a small genetic mutation. It was a complete reimagining of human perception. "We need to understand why this happens," Hannah told June. "What purpose does this serve?" They brought in more experts, geneticists, neurologists, evolutionary biologists. All worked together to solve the puzzle. Each brought a different perspective to the research. Dr. Robert Williams, an evolutionary biologist, had an interesting theory. "Imagine our early human ancestors," he explained during a team meeting, "living in dangerous environments, constantly under threat from predators and environmental challenges. What if this ability gave young humans a survival advantage?" The team listened carefully. Williams continued, children who could perceive hidden dangers, who could see structural weaknesses or detect hidden threats, they would have a better chance of survival. It was a compelling argument. The genetic variation might have been an evolutionary adaptation, a way to protect the most vulnerable members of the human species during their early years. But why did the ability disappear? Why would nature give children this incredible power, only to take it away as they grew older? More tests, more research. The laboratory became a hub of constant activity. Computers processed genetic data. Microscopes revealed hidden secrets. Each discovery brought more questions. June found something else interesting. The genetic variation wasn't present in every human. Some children had stronger abilities than others. It was like a genetic lottery, with some children experiencing more intense perceptual abilities than their peers. "We're looking at the next stage of human understanding," Hannah told the team. Her eyes were bright with excitement. "We're not just studying the genetic mutation. We're uncovering the hidden layer of human perception." Outside the laboratory, the world continued as normal. Millions of children played, unaware that they possessed an extraordinary ability, an ability that could see beyond walls, beyond normal human perception. The mystery was slowly being unraveled, and Dr. Hannah Kim and her team were at the center of this incredible discovery. The Galactic Council chamber was unlike anything on Earth. Massive windows showed the endless darkness of space. Strange creatures from different planets sat around a huge circular table. Some looked like living crystals. Others seemed to be made of moving light. But today, they all looked worried. Dr. Hannah Kim stood at the center of the room. Her presentation about human children's unique ability had created complete silence. No one moved. No one spoke. A representative from the Krull Confederacy was the first to break the silence. His body looked like a walking mountain of blue-green rock. When he spoke, his voice rumbled like distant thunder. "This is impossible," he said. "No species can see through solid matter. Especially not children." Jun Park stepped forward. He had prepared for this reaction. Years of research had taught him how to explain their findings carefully. "It's not exactly seeing through walls," Jun explained. "It's more like perceiving energy fields and structural information that other species cannot detect." Another alien representative leaned forward. This one looked like a cloud of silver particles held together by some invisible force. "A security risk," the cloud being said. Its voice sounded like wind passing through crystal dells. The room erupted into arguments. Different alien species began talking all at once. Some were afraid. Some were curious. Some were angry. A representative from the orbital communes raised multiple tentacle-like appendages. "If human children can see hidden structures," she said, "how can we trust human settlements? How can we be sure they are not spying?" Hannah had expected this reaction. She had prepared carefully for these questions. "Our research shows this ability is temporary," she explained. "It only lasts from ages 3 to 7. After that, the special perception disappears." The blue-green rock representative didn't look convinced. "Temporary or not," he rumbled, "this is a potential threat to galactic security." Other alien representatives began discussing possible actions. Some suggested restricting human colonies. Others wanted to conduct more research. A few were genuinely fascinated by the discovery. Jun showed more data. Holographic images appeared, showing how the ability worked. Colorful lines demonstrated the unique neural pathways that allowed children to perceive hidden information. The images were beautiful, like living art made of light and color. "This isn't a weapon," Jun said. "It's a natural biological process, something that happens to human children as they grow." The Silver Cloud representative asked a critical question. "Why only humans? No other species in the known galaxy has this ability." Hannah took a deep breath. "That's the biggest mystery," she admitted. "We don't know why humans are unique in this way." More debates followed. Some alien species wanted to study human children. Others wanted to limit contact with human settlements. The fear of the unknown was strong in the room. But beneath the fear, there was something else. Curiosity. Wonder. The discovery was changing how the galaxy understood human beings. "We are not a threat," Hannah said firmly. Her voice was calm but strong. "We are sharing this information to understand ourselves, just as we want to understand other species." The Galactic Council continued its discussions. Hours passed. Arguments became more complex. Some representatives began to see the discovery as an opportunity for learning, not a reason for fear. Outside the council chamber, stars continued their silent dance. Millions of human children remained unaware that their special ability was about to change how the galaxy saw humanity forever. Dr. Hannah Kim had started something big, something that would be remembered in galactic history. The research facility was quiet. Most people had gone home, but Dr. Hannah Kim and her team were still working. Whiteboards covered with diagrams and theories filled the walls. Cups of cold coffee sat forgotten on desks. Dr. Robert Williams stood in front of a massive timeline. His fingers traced the history of human evolution, searching for answers. "Look at this," he said to Jun Park. "Our early human ancestors lived in some of the most dangerous environments possible." The timeline showed different periods of human history. Prehistoric times were marked with images of harsh landscapes, dangerous predators, extreme weather conditions. Survival was never easy. June listened carefully. He knew Williams was about to explain something important. "Imagine a small human child," Williams continued, "living in an environment where danger could come from anywhere. Predators, environmental threats, hidden dangers in caves or forests." He pointed to a diagram showing early human settlements. Small groups of humans huddled together. Survival depended on being aware of hidden threats. What if this special ability was nature's way of protecting the most vulnerable members of the human species? Williams asked. The theory was fascinating. According to Williams, the ability to see through walls might have been an evolutionary adaptation, a survival tool that gave human children an extra layer of protection. Young children could detect structural weaknesses. They could see hidden dangers. They could perceive energy fields that warned of potential threats. This ability would give them a massive survival advantage. Jun began writing notes, his computer screen filled with possible scenarios. What if a child could see a hidden predator? What if they could detect a weak spot in a cave wall? What if they could sense dangerous environmental conditions before adults could? Hannah joined the discussion. She brought up more research data, genetic markers, neural pathway studies. Each piece of evidence seemed to support the theory. "But why does the ability disappear?" Jun asked. "Why would evolution give children this power and then take it away?" Williams had a theory about that too. "Perhaps it's most useful during the most vulnerable years," he explained. "Once children grow older and can physically defend themselves, the ability is no longer necessary." The team continued their research. They looked at hundreds of case studies. Children who had detected hidden dangers. Children who had warned about structural problems. Children who saw things no adult could see. One case stood out. A 6-year-old girl who had warned her family about a hidden structural weakness in their home. Days later, a major earthquake hit. The family survived because they had reinforced the weak spot the child had identified. Another study showed a young boy who detected a gas leak in a building. He could see the unusual energy patterns that adults couldn't perceive. His warning saved multiple lives. These weren't just lucky guesses. These were real instances of children perceiving hidden information that could mean the difference between life and death. "We're looking at a unique evolutionary adaptation," Hannah said. Her eyes were bright with excitement. "A biological tool that protected human children during their most vulnerable years." The team worked late into the night. Computers processed data. Researchers compared notes. The mystery was slowly being solved. Outside, the world continued as normal. Millions of children played, unaware of the extraordinary ability hidden within their genetic code. Dr. Williams looked at the timeline one more time. "Nature is remarkable," he said quietly, "always finding ways to ensure survival." The research continued, and with each discovery, they came closer to understanding the incredible secret of human children's perception. The conference room was packed. Scientists, government officials, and ethical advisors sat around a huge circular table. Large windows showed the city outside, a world that was about to change forever. Dr. Hannah Kim stood at the front of the room. Her hands were steady, but her heart was racing. The discovery about human children's special ability had opened up a world of possibilities, but it had also raised serious ethical questions. "We can't just treat children like laboratory experiments," said Dr. Michael Chen, an ethics expert. His voice was firm and serious. The room went quiet. Everyone knew he was right. Joan Park presented the latest research data. Holographic images showed the complex neural pathways that gave children their unique ability. The images were beautiful, like living art made of light and color. "This isn't about exploitation," Hannah said. "This is about understanding." But the ethical questions were real. Should they continue studying this ability? Could they preserve or extend it? What were the long-term consequences of their research? Some people wanted to develop technologies that could copy children's perception. Others wanted to protect children from becoming research subjects. A government representative spoke up. "We could use this for planetary exploration," he said. "We could detect hidden resources. We could understand new environments in ways we never could before." But a child protection expert had a different view. "These are human children," she said, "not research tools, not technological experiments." The debate continued for hours. Each side had strong arguments. Each side believed they were right. Hannah remembered her own daughter, Yumi. When Yumi was 4, she used to talk about the dancing lights around objects. She would point at walls and giggle about the secrets they were hiding. Now that childhood wonder was becoming a serious scientific discovery. The military was interested. Space exploration agencies wanted more information, but the ethical concerns were growing. "We can't treat children like machines," Dr. Chen repeated. "We can't try to extend or preserve an ability that nature designed to be temporary." June had been working on technologies inspired by children's perception. Some prototypes could detect hidden structures. Others could see energy fields. But each prototype raised more ethical questions. The Galactic Research Council was watching. Alien representatives wanted to understand this unique human ability, but they also understood the importance of protecting children. "This isn't just a human issue," said an alien representative. Her body looked like a cloud of silver particles. "This is a galactic ethical challenge." More discussions followed. Lawyers talked about legal protections. Scientists discussed research limitations. Child protection experts argued for strict guidelines. The most important question remained: how could they study this ability without exploiting the children who possessed it? Hannah believed in the research, but she also believed in protecting children. The team would need to create strict ethical guidelines. No invasive tests. No long-term experiments. Just careful, respectful observation. The day grew late. The sun began to set outside the conference room windows. City lights started to appear, creating their own hidden patterns of energy and movement. "We are not just studying the genetic mutation," Hannah told the group. "We are uncovering the hidden layer of human perception, and we must do it carefully." The ethical debate would continue, but one thing was clear: human children had a secret that could change how the universe understood perception, and no one knew where this discovery might lead.